Hi, thank you for joining us for another ITC talk. I'm here today with Dr. Greg Williams and Dr. Dylan Fernando from the British Association of Hair Restoration Surgery. It is a very important association, very dear to my heart, and I'm very, very proud to say that these are one of the societies which are providing a supported talk at the ITC. So I am going to let them tell you about what the BAHRS is and its influence over the ITC, what it's going to be doing there. And then Dr. Dylan is going to be telling us about the talk which he's going to give. So thank you very much for joining me.
Thanks for having us.
So Greg, tell me about the BAHRS.
So the BAHRS has been in existence now for 23 years, and it was founded really as an opportunity for hair restoration surgeons to get together in a collegiate manner. And one of the cornerstones is about providing education. In 2013, we opened up the association, which used to be called an Association for Hair Restoration Surgeons, to other members, including trichologists, which recognized really the important role that so many people have in treating hair loss. We're very, very happy this year to be offering our autumn educational content option as the ITC. So BAHRS members will be attending the ITC on one or both days in order to further their knowledge. We will be having a breakout session specifically for BAHRS members, which will only be open to BAHRS members, where we'll be discussing more detailed aspects of hair transplant surgery. But we're really looking forward to partnering with the ITC for the first time this year.
It's a phenomenal step. As you know, I'm very passionate about networking and making sure that trichologists talk to surgeons, surgeons talk to estheticians, etc., etc. All facets of the same type of hemisphere of science and making sure that people have good hair and have good quality advice. So I think this cross-pollination and this cross-talking is incredibly important. But this is going to be your first time, Dr. Dylan.
Yes, Ian, thank you for having me at the ITC. I'm incredibly excited to speak. And just as you yourself said, Ian, and also what Greg touched upon is this kind of whole concept of networking between our industries. I think there needs to be a drive to really move how we kind of look after hair, how we engage hair loss amongst different industries, whether that's trichology, whether that's hair restoration surgery, and even more recently, BAHRS have now engaged with people who deliver scalp micropigmentation. So it's really important that we do open our doors and open communication streams between everybody. So I'm incredibly excited, not just to deliver my own talk, but to go to the ITC and listen to other talks from trichologists and from other experts, leading experts in the hair industry. I think that's incredibly important that I can give my own patients good quality information when I also kind of advise them on hair loss and hair restoration surgery. My own talk will be hoping to give people a flavor or trichologists a flavor of when hair loss gets to a certain stage, what is a good time to refer to a hair restoration surgeon. I think there's a long process before someone is suitable for a hair transplant procedure. And I think trichologists, dermatologists, and various other specialities are part of that process and that part of that journey. And I think if we have a good knowledge and a good understanding between all of those specialisms, we will be able to identify the best candidates for hair restoration surgeons, and that way streamline that process so people are getting a good quality service all around.
It sounds like on the surface quite a basic talk, but from my experience, it really isn't. Finding the right person for the right surgeon is incredibly difficult. And I mean, the amount of time when I've spoke to you, Greg, about is this person suitable? Especially, I mean, you're personally an expert in scarring alopecias, those types of things. I mean, we've spoken many times about is this person suitable? And the things that you've told me, I wouldn't have thought about. So it's really important to get that information from surgeons to know if somebody's too young, if somebody's too old, the types of surgeries which are possible for certain conditions. I mean, Greg, you deal a lot with scarring from your background. So I suppose that part of this talk may be to do with scarring, maybe to do with where scarring comes from, not comes from, but who's suitable with scarring alopecias and when they've had scars on the scalp.
Yeah, I think Dylan will probably touch on that. I don't think it'll be the main focus of the talk, but I think what is important is for trichologists to know when we would not do a transplant, that one doesn't want to get the patient's expectations and hopes up only for them to come in for a consultation and be told, actually, I'm sorry, your trichologist made an error and you're not suitable. Especially if the trichologist has said, yeah, I think you will be suitable, go and see Dr. X or Dr. Y, and then they come in and you're having to let them down. And patients can be very, very, very disappointed, they can be angry, and they be quite emotional if they thought they were suitable and then aren't. So I think expectation management, starting from the trichologist visit, is very, very important.
Do you find that, this is a question to both of you, do you find that people are getting the wrong advice from the wrong hair transplant surgeons, and it's just a case of, yes, come, we'll do your hair no matter what?
I would just take it back to what Greg was saying about how it's about, and also what you were saying earlier, is about making sure that there is a body of good quality information out there to offset what is actually a minefield of bad information available. And whether that comes from the internet or from surgeons who giving bad advice or other clinicians giving bad advice, it's important that there is a unified approach. As Greg says, it's very hard to change someone's perception if they've been given some kind of reassurance that a hair transplant is going to work, when actually they come in for a consult and all of a sudden they're very shocked to hear that a hair transplant isn't appropriate for them. That's a very difficult process for in any consultation for any doctor. So I think making sure that we step off on the right foot is the most important thing, and making sure that the information that's provided is unified across all of our specialities.
The trichology membership category of the BAHRS is a relatively new membership category, and what we would like to see, and Dylan's going to be working on this in the coming year, is to have information from a trichologist point of view available on our website for the public. Details that a surgeon, even though a surgeon's a specialist in hair, there is a lot that is bread and butter for trichologists that actually surgeons know nothing about. And I think having that information, as Dylan said, available to the public and quality information from a reliable source is really important. But the other thing that I just want to mention as well, Iain, is that generally, and I just had that conversation yesterday with a training dermatologist, is that general practitioners, medical students, dermatologists, dermatology students, generally hair is not a well understood subject. And so what we want to do as the hair community, as we all network and coming together, is be an available resource for general practitioners, but also to reach out directly to general practitioners and try and educate them, because they will also be frontline in seeing patients who have concerns about their hair loss. Who should they refer to? Should they refer to a trichologist? Should they refer to a dermatologist? Should they refer directly to a hair transplant surgeon? I think building these sorts of flows for patients is really important, because at the moment, a lot of patients, as you know, just feel really frustrated that they're seeing people who just don't know anything about hair.
Lastly, there's going to be trichologists there that haven't had very much information from the BAHRS or don't know very much about them. Now, I've been a member for several years and I couldn't recommend it highly enough to my trichological associates. It's an excellent platform. You get fantastic information. It's great networking. Are you going to be, or is there going to be information there for people to take away so they can actually look at the BAHRS and hopefully join? Are you going to bring
Yes, absolutely. There is one specific criteria that is a potential obstacle for new members, and that is you have to have a reference from a BAHRS surgeon member. So in order to do that, you have to get to know somebody. And ideally what we want is that any trichologist member has a working relationship with a BAHRS surgeon member so that they know each other, they cross-refer, and patients have confidence that this is a part of a team that they are dealing with. So trichologists who want to join in isolation are unfortunately not going to be able to do so.
That I hope that the ITC is a platform where we can network between trichologists and hair restoration surgeons, and to create that network. And like Greg said, as soon as that working relationship is developed, then hopefully I welcome anybody to speak to me, and any trichologist to speak to me, and I'm happy to work with them and develop that working relationship. And I would be more than welcome to guide anyone into their membership within the BAHRS as well.
Hair transplant surgeons around the country are not having to refer to a trichologist miles and miles away, because whilst they may only need to see the hair transplant surgeon once or twice pre and post operatively, they may want to be seeing their trichologist on a weekly or monthly basis to ensure that they have continuous and effective care.
Perfect time to end this. Thank you both for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you for having us, Iain.
Thanks for having us.
For more information, please go to trichologycongress.com, where you'll find information on the speakers and the tickets. The early bird price that you see finishes at the end of July, so please take advantage of this whilst you can.